Swa Shakti is Prakriti and Swami Shakti is Purush. Now, when there is union of Purush and Prakriti, that means union of Swa Shakti and Swami Shakti. It's only, this union is only to understand the nature of Buddhi. This union is only to understand the nature of Buddhi. Because if the Purush wants to understand Buddhi, or the Purush wants to know Buddhi or Mahat, it cannot know on its own. It cannot experience it on its own unless it uh, has Sayog or it unites with Prakriti. It cannot experience Mahat or Buddhi. So to understand that, to understand the Swaroop of Buddhi, Purush and Prakriti or Swa Shakti or Swami Shakti, they have to unite. That is what over is told over here. Then, what is the reason of their union? Sayog, that is Tasya Hetur Avidya. We know Purush and Prakriti, they are different, but because of Avidya, they unite or they come together. So, what is the reason of the Sayog? That is Avidya. So, when we gain Vidya or when this ignorance is removed, then there won't be any union. Purush will again go and settle in its original form. But till the time we don't attain Vidya or till the time the ignorance is not removed, this union of Purush and Prakriti will be there. So if you want to remove this union, if you want to separate Purush and Prakriti, then Vidya is very, very important. We have to remove Avidya, we have to remove the ignorance. Then, what is Hana? So we understood what is Heya, then Heya Hetu. Now, the fourth point in Chaturvyu, that is Hana. Tad abhava sanyoga abhava hanan tadrushe kaivalyam. That means there being absence of avidya, there is absence of union. So when avidya is removed, when avidya or ignorance is gone, then the union is also not there. It is because of avidya that the union or sanyog is there. So when avidya is not there, the union of Purush and Prakriti is also not there. And which is the thing that is to be avoided, and that is the state of liberation. And Patanjali Rishi is telling what is Kaivalya. So what is Kaivalya? Absence of avidya. When you remove avidya or ignorance, there is no union of Purush and Prakriti, then that is Kaivalya, or that is liberation, or that is Mukti, or that is Moksha. And this is called as Hana. So what is Hana? Hana means no avidya, no sayog. So there is no suffering also. In simple language. So the destruction or removal of the suffering. Why do we suffer? Because of avidya. And because of avidya, what happens is that we experience the union of Purush and Prakriti. And when that happens, then we face suffering or misery in our life. Yes, Mranmayji, you want to ask something?
Ma'am, I was supposed to ask Sushri.
Oh,
Uh,
so okay.
yeah. Ma'am, here Hanam means removal, like the removal of ignorance.
Hmm.
I just want to understand the meaning of like what is Hanam here?
Ha. So Han means that remove the absence of avidya. That means removal of ignorance, as you said. So when this ignorance is removed, there are three things involved over here. Absence of avidya or ignorance. What happens because of that? The union of Purush and Prakriti is also not there. So that means that is the state of liberation. So a yogi or a practitioner attains liberation. So this entire is a process of Hana. So, but in short, when we are saying Hana, Hana means removal of suffering, destruction of misery or sorrow या दुख से मुक्ति जो हम लोग बोलते हैं, that is Hana. And when you are free from the suffering, you will attain kaivalya. But how to be free from the suffering? For that, or when you will be free from the suffering, or how to remove the suffering, that entire process, that is removal of avidya, that means gaining knowledge, that is also hana. So everything that is told over here is hana, that is absence of avidya. So that means removal of ignorance. Because of that, what happens? That there is no union of purush and prakriti, drashta and drishya. And when there is no union, what happens? We attain the state of kaivalya. That is called as hana. So in short, if entire process, if we want to sum up, it is the destruction or removal of suffering. But when you want to explain it, what is the destruction of suffering or removal of suffering, then this is the entire process, which is called as hana. Now you got it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Then how to destroy the suffering or dukkha. Patanjali Rishi told us in Hana that we need to remove the suffering or we need to destroy the suffering. That is Hana. How to do it? Viveka Khyatir Aviplava Hanopaya. Now, Patanjali Rishi is here is talking about Hanopaya. So, what is Hanopaya? It is removal of the suffering. Means gaining Viveka Khyati. That means Prati Prasa. The means of destruction. How do we um, destroy the kleshas, or how do you destroy avidya? Huh? That method, when you remove or destroy avidya, you gain vivek khyati. That means you gain discriminative knowledge. आपको ज्ञान मिलता है. When you remove avidya, you get discriminative knowledge, which is called as viveka khyati over here. And this Vivek Khyati, gaining this knowledge, is called as Hanopai. And there are different methods which Patanjali Rishi has told in the next sutras for how to attain Vivek Khyati. But here, Hanopai means the destruction, the path, or the process, different ways of attaining Vivek Khyati or Prati Prasav, that is Hanopai. So Hanopai synonym is Prati Prasav, or you can even say gaining Viveka Khyati or discriminative knowledge. It is one and the same. So clear and distinct discriminative knowledge is the means of destruction of ignorance. We studied in the previous sutra only that avidya can be removed. How? By gaining discriminative knowledge, that is viveka khyati, which further leads to the prevention of union. And this is hana. So gaining discriminative knowledge or gaining viveka khyati or attaining that knowledge is called as Hano Pi. So this is the last and the fourth of Chaturvyu. Then Patanjali Rishi has told us the 7 types of pragya in the next sutra. Tasya saptada pranta bhumi. That means if one here in the previous sutra in Hanopai, Patanjali told us that it is very important that if you want to destroy or you want to attain kaivalya, you need to gain vivek khyati. That means we need to attain discriminative knowledge. But then how to attain vivek khyati? That has been told from here. So vivek khyati can be attained in stepwise again. There are 7 steps in which you attain the discriminative knowledge or you attain pragya or vivek khyati. So there are 7 steps. Tasya, discriminative knowledge or vivek khyati, that is 7-fold. And this pragya means buddhi. So this yogi who has acquired discriminative knowledge or vivek khyati, his buddhi is of 7-fold. So when one attains vivek khyati or the knowledge, then his buddhi is of sevenfold. That means his buddhi is of the highest knowledge. Hence, it is called as pragya. We had studied in Samadhi Paad also about pragya. So, same, discriminative knowledge, but of higher level. So, what are these 7 steps that Patanjali has not told, but Vyas Rishi had described it? Mm, Not very difficult to understand. The first 4 are called as Karya Vimukti Pragya. So there are 7 steps. Out of that, first 4 are called as Karya Vimukti Pragya. Why is it called Karya Vimukti? Karya means action. So whatever actions or whatever Karya we do to attain Vivek Khyati, and then Moksha or Mukti, that is told over here in these 4 steps. So Karya Vimukti. So whatever Karya that is done to attain mukti, karya vimukti. Whatever karya is done to attain viveka khyati and then mukti, that has been told in karya vimukti. And similarly, the last 3 is chitta vimukti pragya. That means the process of prati prasav or dissolution of the chitta. That has been told over here in the last 3 steps. Let's understand this. Now, first is Yeya Shunya Avastha, which is again called as Heya. So, Yeya Shunya, Neya Shunya Avastha. What was worth knowing? So, at this stage, how is the yogi? What was worth knowing in order to attain liberation or moksha is known. So, the yogi knows everything that is important or necessary for him to attain moksha or liberation or kaivalya. Now, there is nothing that he needs to know. That is neya shunya. So, neya shunya means neya is to know. Nothing is to be known. Then is heya shunya. Second is heya shunya avastha or heya hetu. Whatever was worth giving up, I have already given up. Now there is nothing left to give up. Give up. For example, if like that practitioner or a yogi, he has given up all his desires. He has stopped running after his control on his mind. He has given up all the luxuries or materialistic whatever things that he used to enjoy. So whatever was or needed to be given up, everything he has given up. Now there is nothing that is left that he needs to avoid or give up, that this is an obstacle. Now there is no obstacle. He has given up all the bad habits, you can say, or the things that might obstruct his journey towards kaivalya. So whatever was worth giving up is given up. Now there is nothing left to give up. So all the troubles that were worth giving up. So for example, now when we are practicing asana, if you want a perfection in the asana, you need to take certain effort. So you might suffer from body pain, and you need to put in extra effort, extra time. You need to be regular in it, practice again and again and again. So you need to really take some efforts. I will not say trouble, but efforts to attain the perfect asana. So, and for that, you will give up a lot of things. You will not eat unhealthy food. Then you will eat sattvic food. Your lifestyle will be very good. You'll sleep at the proper time. Jitna chahiye utna hi soenge. You will wake up early in the morning. Then exercise regularly. So whatever required that you have done and whatever should have been avoided, going out, doing time pass and everything, eating something which is not good for your health, or sleeping at any time, drinking, smoking, everything you have given up. Why? Because you want to attain that perfection in yoga. So whatever needed to be given up is given up. That is heya shunya. Then is prapya praptam. Prapya praptam avastha means I attained whatever is worth attaining. So I have attained samadhi. Now there are different levels of samadhi. So here he is aware of it. So I have attained samadhi. Whatever I wanted to attain, I have attained. I have attained samadhi. And now Thus, the desire to achieve comes to an end. Now, there is no desire to achieve anything. I don't want प्राप्ति कुछ नहीं करनी है मुझे, समाधि मुझे मिल गई है. चिकित्सा शून्य अवस्था. Sorry, this is fourth. By mistake, I have numbered it 3. This is fourth. Chikirsha Shunya Avastha means this is the Hana state. Hana state I attained through Samadhi. So I attained whatever is worth doing. He has attained pure Viveka Gyan. Just now we studied in Hana that no avidya, then no sanyog, and then no suffering. That is Hana. So exactly that is said over here. That Hana is a state I had attained through Samadhi. So whatever, so that yogi, no avidya, so he has gained the knowledge. No sayog, so he knows now Purusha and Prakriti are different. No suffering, because he has gained the knowledge, he is not suffering. He has attained the pure Vivek Gyan. Now there is nothing worth doing. This is the fourth level of Karya Vimukti. Now, discriminative enlightenment of Vivek Khyati has been recognized as the means of liberation. Viveka Khyati leads to liberation. It is very important that unless and until we have attained Viveka Khyati, we cannot attain liberation. So, Vivek Khyati leads to liberation. That we know. Then, now, Chitta Vimukti. Till now, we have attained this knowledge. Now, Chitta Vimukti Pradya, this is of a little higher level. So, these three are related to liberation of the mind. So, what is it? Chitta, we are working here on the, or the yogi is working on the Chitta level. So, first is Chitta ke Krutarthata. The aim of Buddhi, we know, was to give Bhog and Apavarga to the Purush. हम लोगों ने अभी देखा था. What is the aim of Drushya? To give Bhog and Apavarga to the Purush or the Atma. That is the aim of Buddhi. Now he has completed the purpose. Now in Chitta Krutartha, what happened? He has completed the purpose of giving Bhog and Apavarga also. Now Buddhi has fulfilled all its functions. So जो भी कार्य था, जो भी काम था बुद्धि का, yes, it has completed all its function. Now there is nothing that the Chitta has to do. Everything is done. Then Gunalinata. Then what happens? The three Guni Chitta, that means Sattva, Raja, Tama, it will get balanced and it will dissolve into Prakriti. So Prati Prasav ho raha hai har ek cheez ka. So the three Guni Chitta, Sattva, Raja, Tama, they are balanced and now they will dissolve into Prakriti. Chitta, our Chitta is always attached to the three gunas. And it is not possible for them to reappear now. We know that the gunas are, one of the gunas are dominating, popping up now and then. But when a yogi attains this state, the gunas, they will never reappear. They have dissolved. They will not come back again. Now, for example, a stone that is rolling down a mountain. If it is going down, it is rolling down from a mountain. It cannot climb up. It can go only one way. It will not climb up to the top again. Similarly, once the three gunas, they are absorbed or they dissolve into Prakriti, they will not come up again. That is Gunalinata. Dissolving all the three gunas into Prakriti. Then is Atma Sthiti. Atma means soul. We know Atma means soul or Purush. Now the Purush is free from three gunas. It is free from Prakriti. So Purush now has attained its true form, the unwavering form, the self-satisfied form. It is in its real nature or real form. So in this way, when the yogi's wisdom becomes the seventh level of experience, so that means when the yogi, he crosses each level and he crosses the seventh level or reaches the seventh level, what happens? The soul becomes free from all the three gunas. The Purush appears in its original form, and then the soul is called as Kushal. When the Purush is free from Prakriti, Patanjali, Vyas Bhashya, Vyas Rishi is saying that when the Purush is free from Prakriti, when the gunas have dissolved, then what is the soul called? He is called as Kushal. which is Jivan Mukta. And when the chitta also dissolves in its own cause, when the chitta also dissolves, then also it is called Kushal. But it is called as Videha Mukta. So when the three gunas dissolve and the Purush appears in its pure form, it is called as Jivan Mukta. And when the Chitta dissolves in its own cause, it is called as Videha Mukta. This is something that Vyasa Bhashya has told, not Patanjali. Patanjali Rishi has not described all these things. So Patanjali Rishi now tells us that Patanjali told us to attain Kaivalya. Previously, Patanjali told us Viveka Khyati is very important to attain Kaivalya. But then how to attain Vivek Khyati? For that, he has given the solution of Ashtanga Yoga. Yogang Anushtanat Ashuddhi Kshay Jnana Diptihi Viveka Khyatihi. So what Patanjali Rishi is telling that by the practice of the different limbs of yoga, that is Ashtanga. Ashtanga are different limbs of yoga. When we practice Ashtanga Yoga, what happens? First, the impurities are destroyed. So that means impurities means avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha and abhinevesh. All the kleshas, they are get destroyed. And then second thing is jnana diptir viveka khyate he. That means viveka khyati is also attained. Ramesh, I'll get back to you. I'll just finish this much and then I'll get back to you. So what are the two fruits of Yoganga Anushthan or practicing Ashtanga Yoga? There are two fruits. One is impurities are dissolved, and second is Viveka Khyati. So Ashuddhi ka kshay hota hai, Ashuddhi kshay, and second is Viveka Khyati. That means Jnana Diptir Viveka Khyate hai. So because these two are the fruits of Yoga Anga Anushtana, Patanjali Rishi is saying that when we practice this Ashtanga Yoga, we attain Vivek Khyati. Because when the impurities are gone, when the kleshas are gone, when the kleshas are destroyed, we gain Vivek Khyati. And Vivek Khyati is very important for Kaivalya. Then he described the Ashtanga. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, Ashtangani. So these are the 8 limbs of yoga. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs you have to learn in sequence, and in this way only they can ask you, or they will ask you in to write it in sequence. That is all that is told in this sutra. Then he described yam. So out of these 8, that is out of the 8 limbs, now Patanjali Rishi in the next sutra has described yam. What is yam? Ahimsa satya asteya brahmacharya aparigraha yamaha. So what is yam? Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya and aparigraha. 5 yamas are there. So what is ahimsa? We all know ahimsa means non-violence. So what is yam? Following ahimsa. Then satya, always speaking truth. Asteya, non-stealing. Fourth, brahmacharya, following continence. And fifth is aparigraha, that is non-possessiveness. All these 5 are yamas. Now, ahimsa, satya, asteya. When Patanjali Rishi has told over here, he has not described it. But whenever we are following any yam, it has to be followed not only physical but even mentally. Kaik, vachik, and mansik, it is called. Kaik means through the action. Vachik means with your when you're in your speech. And mansik means mentally also. That means, for example, now when we are talking about ahimsa, ahimsa means non-violence. So Patanjali Rishi is telling is ahimsa doesn't mean that you go and hurt someone or you fight with someone physically. That is one type of ahimsa, but that is kai. I am not going and hitting anyone. So that doesn't mean that I am following ahimsa. What if I am thinking bad about that person in my mind, or I'm speaking something bad? that is going to hurt the other person. That is also ahimsa. So Patanjali Rishi here is has told us that when you're following these five yum, it has to be kaik, vachik, and mansik. Physically also, mentally also, and verbally also you have to follow. Even satya, even asteya, that non-stealing. Non-stealing doesn't mean that, okay, you're going to go and steal someone's thing. Huh? So even in your mind, that thought should not come that, oh, I wish I had this, or I wish I get this. That is also bad. That is steya, stealing. Steya means stealing. Asteya means non-stealing. So even if the thought of stealing comes to your mind, that means it is steya. That means you are not following the yam. So in your mind also that negative thought should not come. The same with brahmacharya, same with aparigraha. Now for asteya also a simple example, you are walking on the road and you see a coin on the road fallen down. Normal reaction is we pick it up. So Patanjali Rishi here is telling that something that is not ours and we pick it up, and if we keep it with us, then that is stealing. But if we pick it up and we donate it or give it to someone else without thinking for even a second, shall I keep it with me? वो एक सेकंड के लिए भी थॉट नहीं आना चाहिए. That is not mine. I have found it, and so I am giving it. Either you donate it in the temple, or you give it to a needy. So even in your mind, that thought should not come that I'll keep it. Similarly, brahmacharya, thought about any other person should not come in your mind. Having relation with other person other than your wife or your husband, the one whom you have married. Other than that, even the thought in your sleep also you should not think about someone else. That is brahmacharya. Similarly, a parigraha means non-possessiveness. Non-possessiveness means we have the habit. We might be having 50 saris or 50 dresses. 50 saris, 50 dresses, then jeans, then skirt, and this and that. But still we want new. We still want more. We want to possess everything. I want this also. I see something new. I want this also. And we want to store everything with us. We want to keep everything with us. So Patanjali Rishi is saying that that is not good. You need to follow a parigraha, that is non-possessiveness. So ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, these are the five yamas. And this jati desha kala samaya anvichhinnaha sarvabhauma mahavrat. That means these five yam, they have to be followed irrespective of jati, irrespective of desh, kal, or samay. And when you follow it in this way, then it is called as mahavrat. What is mahavrat? Jati means what? Class. Now, class here doesn't mean what we call actually literally caste system or class. Now, class means just being good to another human being is not enough. You should be good, or you should follow ahimsa with even animals or with birds. You're good with people, but if you're hitting the animals or you're behaving badly with the animals or birds, then that means you are a violent person. We cannot call that I am a non-violent person or I am following ahimsa. So no matter who is there in front of you, human, animal, birds, anyone, no matter which jati, you have to follow the yam with everyone in the same manner. Similarly, desha. Desh here means no matter where you are in this world, you need to follow it. If you are in India, you are in America, you're in New Zealand, no matter where you are, you have to follow the rules. It can't be that, okay, I'm in now for example in India, okay, we are very careful or simple. I'll give you a very simple example. There are a lot of people, they will keep their house very clean, neat and tidy, very clean, and they will throw the garbage outside, or when they go out, they will open a biscuit packet or a chocolate and they will throw the wrapper on the road itself somewhere, even or throw it from the car. So you are following cleanliness or shouch or those good things in the house, but you're not following it outside. That is not right. We are keeping our country clean, but when we go out, we behave in a different manner. So that is not right. So no matter where you are, you have to follow the yam, irrespective of the desh. Then kala. Now, for example, people who have non-veg, then they will not eat non-veg on Amavasya, Ekadashi, or now Shravan Maina was going on. So for one complete month, they are not, they don't eat non-veg. But rest of the months they are eating. Rest of the days they are eating. So it should not be like that. Whatever you're following, irrespective of the kala, which time, which date, what date, you have to follow it. So that is kala. Then is samaya. Samay here refers to any occasion or festival. Now, for example, now is Ganpati. So in Ganpati, I will not do ahimsa, or in Ganpati, I will follow brahmacharya or aparigraha, or I will not eat non-veg. But once Ganpati is over, I'm waiting and I'll start eating non-veg. So that is not right. Or I have puja in my house. So today I will not prepare non-veg. Tomorrow I don't have puja, so I'll prepare non-veg. So Patanjali Rishi is saying that irrespective of desh, kala, samay, jati, desh, kala and samay, when you follow all the yamas, irrespective of this, in any condition, in any situation, then it is called as Mahavrat.